Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and let's get on with rebuilding the IBM ThinkPad. And this is the board that I'm planning to use in it. If you remember from the previous video, this is pretty. I don't actually think this is brand new. I said it was a new old stock board, but actually looking at it really closely, I can see a tiny little bit of like dust around these capacitors. There's little bits of dust around here and what have you. So I think this has been in service, but probably not for very long. So I'm hoping this wasn't taken out of service because it was faulty. But that's what we're going to find out in this video. But I think the first thing I want to do, really, we'll put a CRC32 coin cell holder on there. I suppose even if it's fault, I could fire it up now, it wouldn't matter. Not having it on there, just wouldn't be able to save any of the settings. But for the amount of time it's going to take, we'll throw this back up. We'll throw this on. I just quickly whisked it off the other scrap board that I had, and then we will have a go and see if we can get this board to actually fire up. Because I've got the CPU for it and I've got everything we're going to need. We've even got a new old stock cooler here which can go on it, which is rather good because I didn't realise until after I've made that previous video that the stock Pentium 4 cooler that I got there that I was planning to use on this won't actually work with this application, because this is early Pentium 4 and it's a completely different standard to like the later Pentium 4s, which is more what I'm used to playing with when I have indeed played with Pentium 4s. I even pulled this off an old scrap compact which I thought might be early enough, and I thought this would do the job. I'd have to cut that off, machine that off there, because this is, like I said, this was out of a compact, like a slimline compact system, and obviously blow it all out with an airline. I thought this was going to work, but actually when I checked, no, this doesn't line up either. Fortunately I had a grub round in all my stuff and I found that. Now it's horrifically dirty, but it is absolutely brand new in the packaging. I think this come from Andy's mate, the Mildred. He gave me a load of old PC stuff a while back. Hopefully some RAM we might be able to use in this as well. So we have got a nice cooler for it. We've got the CPU in there. For actual testing, what I might do, because I think it's compatible, is pinch the RAM off this, well, at least pinch one of the sticks of RAM off this board just for initial testing, because I think it's the same. I'm pretty sure it's the same. I was going to repair this board in this video as well. Unfortunately, I haven't got any. I've checked, excuse me, and I haven't got any 1800 UF 16 volt capacitors that I can replace that one with. I've even checked on some old scrap motherboards that I've got, and I've not got anything suitable. So what I'll probably do is end up ordering 5 and just changing all 5, and then at least we know we're not going to have any issues in the future with that one. But at least, like I say, I felt let's just pop one out and let's have a quick check. But I'm pretty sure that this is going to be the correct. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so we've got some RAM. It's more than I want to use on this system. These are 1 gig sticks, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are what. Yeah, because Andy said it's got 2. I think Andy said it's got 2 gig in it. That thing. Can I just see it? Oh yeah, 1G. That. Yeah, so they are 1 gig sticks then. I'll stick one of them up there. Right. First things first. Let's sort that issue out there. Now, what I will have to do is clear those holes out, and I'm hoping there's not too many planes in here and I can just get it out with a simple solder sucker. If not, we're going to have to go a little bit more in depth and fire the desoldering station up and everything to get that out. But like I said, I am hopeful. Get a little bit of flux there. Let's grab an off cut of solder. That'll do. And let me grab my slightly stronger glasses so I can see this properly. Right, so let let me get you zoomed in a little bit. There we go. Right, so basically here is where we're looking at. Let me grab the soldering iron and give that a quick clean. Where's the there it is. I'll just give that iron a quick spruce up. There we go, that's looking better. We'll add a little bit of fresh solder to those points. This is probably still leaded solder. I think this board's from 2003, so I'm pretty sure this is. It was right around about when really leaded solder was going out of use. It still did linger on for some things for a few more years. It was, I think it was it 2008 when they really fully banned it and stuff like this? I can't remember actually. I remember it back in the time, but I think this might still be leaded solder on this. Not that it'd matter, it'll mix with some good old leaded, even if it is lead free. But let's give this a try. Let's see if we can get these holes unblocked. Oops. Might have to try some solder wick, see if that will get it out. If not, we'll have to resort to the oh, that one's no problem. Look, that's nice and clean now. I'm guessing this one might be on the ground plane then, if this one's we're struggling with this one a little bit more. See if we can get it hot enough, see if we can get enough heat into the hole. Yeah, let's try a little bit of solder braid on that, see if that's going to do the job. As you can see, the other side's no problem. Right, well, that's the really crappy stuff. Let's get some good stuff. Because all solder braid is not made equal. Some's much better to use than others. Right, now where? There it is. So the problem with the glasses I'm wearing now is I can see, you know, detail stuff like this really well. I can't see anything else. I have to swap over to my other glasses if I want to see anything else on the workbench. But let's give this a go, see if we can get it out like this way. If not, we'll have to fire the desoldering station up. Taking a lot of it out, but no. That's one of the problems with multi-layer boards, is actually like, you know, oh look at that, we've managed it. That was not easy, but we've managed it. If you look there, we've actually managed to unblock it. Well, probably actually better if I got some better hand desoldering pumps, some of the ones with silicone tips on them rather than these plastic tips, so you get a bit of a better seal actually on the board. Because sometimes when it's something simple like that, you don't want to go to all the trouble of like firing the desoldering station, you know, letting that warm up and everything, just to unblock a couple of holes. That's why, you know, I still keep these things around, but I think I could do with getting some better tips for them. Right, well, now we've got that out. Yeah, that's fine now. Look, I've got the holder that I salvaged off the completely scrap board, so that should go straight in there. That fits nice. Ooh, let's get that over. Can you see where I am there? And we'll solder that into place. Hopefully we can just get that to hold. Yeah, we can. I'll get that soldered into place. Side that side, and then I'm just going to put my finger underneath it and just very gently just make sure, heat up each side like that, and just make sure it's nice and flat to the board. Okay, you can get this anti-static bag out of the way. Let's clear my bench off and we'll flip this over, and there we go. So we've got a nice, let me get you zoomed out a little bit so you can see more of what we're doing. Right, so we've got a nice replacement CRC32 holder there. Let me find a battery to go in that. Hopefully I've got some, right, I'm getting very low on CRC32s, so that's my last one. Oh, CR2032s, you know what I meant though. Right, let's stick that in, that's a brand new one. So at least if the board does work, we can retain the settings on the BIOS. Right, I suppose the next thing we're going to need is a CPU. This is the one that came in the box that I got this in. So, and again, this is not new. I can see remnants of old thermal paste on that. And this is a Intel Celeron 2.4 GHz. So I'd like it to be slower. Ideally I'd really like something like a 1.6 or something like that, but I've got this, it will do the job. In fact, actually it does mean that I should be able to play a few slightly later games on this if I did indeed want to go and use it for a few games. Although I do have the other rig which I'm going to set up for more of that type of thing. Right. So we've got that in there, and that just clipped nicely in place. I suppose what we do need to do is deal with this cooler. So let's slip that to one side. Let's have a look at this, because I've never even opened this. The only thing that I saw is when I was looking on it is that it is for the Intel Pentium 4 socket 478, which is what I believe this is. Up to 3 GHz. Well, we're running a 2.4 GHz Celeron, so we're well within that. Or it can also be used on the AMD Athlon XP 2600 Plus and Intel 370. So this must be like kind of like a universal kind of fan. So it's a Volcano 7 Plus. Fan speed with HTML RPM setting cable. Right, so it's something fancy anyway. It's probably more fancy than we need, but unfortunately it's the only CPU cooler I seem to have that will actually fit this platform. Everything else I have is for later CPUs or much earlier CPUs. Wow. Right, that's quite cool. And we've got low, medium, so we've got a speed controller switch for it. Right, this lot may go bye-bye, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, I think if I ditch all that, I take that out of there and I put it in there, we should have a fairly standard fan, just with a 3-wire fan, which is really more what we need. So let's have a look at this thing. So we've got loads of mounting stuff in the bottom here, and we've got some rather nasty thermal grease which I don't think I'll be using. I've got some Arctic silver we can use. We've got another little badge to go on the front of the system. Let's have a look at the instructions. So we are looking for Pentium 4, aren't we? So isn't this nice? We don't actually seem to have, oh, thank God for that. I thought I was going to have to deal with Chinese instructions then. Right, socket 478 installation. Place the aluminium Volcano 7 Plus cover over the heatsink unit. So, right. That goes over like that. Okay. Yeah, that goes in there. We've got holes at each side. Right, okay, that kind of goes like that. Then what does it tell us to do? Install the side panel on... Install the included screws as shown in the diagram. Right, so yeah, so we screw 2 screws in there and 2 screws in there. So let's do that. Might as well take you guys along for the ride. So this thing's got to be getting on for 20 years old, new old stock. So let's see what we can do with it. At least there should be no complaints that my CPU is going to get too hot anyway. Let's find a suitable screwdriver. No, that's not a suitable screwdriver. Let's see what we've got. Aha. Yes, that's more like it. I'm hoping there's some threads in there. It doesn't expect you to cut your own. Oh yeah, no, it's going in. That's one in there. And it gives you different size screw. Well, I think the different length screws. They seem to be. But it doesn't actually explain to you there's a difference where you fit them. Right, them 2 are in. I think it might just be a machining intolerances. I think they are meant to be all the same size. And I think they are pretty much just like a self-tapping screw, which is just self-tapping into the copper. I can't see any threads in there. But yeah, that's in. Right, okay, so that's step 1. Sorry, so that's step 2. Step 3 is install the side panel on both sides of the heatsink unit. So, I presume this has the side panels in it. Right, I'm guessing those are the side panels. Those fit... Which way up do they go? Oh, they go that way up. Right, okay, so one of them fits on there like that. Let's screw that into place. Can't say I've ever done this before with a heatsink. I've just got them out of the packet and clipped them onto the CPU. So this thing will be handy to keep about, even if I don't end up using this. If I find something else to use in this system, this might be a handy one to keep about just as a test heatsink for messing with motherboards. Seeing I've got all the brackets and everything for it that can go to different CPUs of this era. Right, okay, so those are all on. Right, so what else do I need to do? Right, so now I need to screw these things get that out of the way onto the top of those things like that. Ah, I think I see how this works now. Right, okay. So I screw that down like that, and that's that one on that side, and I've got little springy things there. And I screw that one. This is actually reasonably well thought out for the fact that it can fit different CPUs and everything. And I screw that onto there like that. And we've got two springy things there, which I believe probably clip into the board like that. Awesome. Right, okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll put them little screws back away. I'll put the extra bracket, the instructions and everything back in the packet, and then if I need to reuse this on, like I say, if I can find a different cooler for this computer, I might put all this back away, and I've got something that's really cool for if I've got a motherboard and I want to fire it up and I've not got a cooler for it, one of these older ones. I've actually got something I can possibly do it with this. Right, let's take care of this. Now we should be able to pull that. Yeah, I just need something small and like a pin or something. Just bear with me a second, folks. Come on, get shot. There we go. Right. Now if I hold on to that like that and I push down the little tab in there gently and I pull. Let's try that again. Should be able to get that out of there. This one is being slightly awkward, but there we go. Now it's got it. Yeah, it's coming. There we go. Can be a little bit fiddly to get them out. Let's just see. We're probably just going to have to straighten that back up again. Oh, I think it'll go back in. I think that will go back in okay. So we'll put that. Make sure we get it the right way round, which I think is that way round. Yeah. We'll push that in there, clip it in. And there, that should work just as a normal 3-wire fan now, and we can do away with that that fan speed controller there. I'm pretty sure it's just some resistors or something like that over the across the motor, just a bit to slow it down. I don't think we'll be using that. Right, let us get the board back in. We'll get some proper heatsink compound to go on there. There it is. Now you don't need to go mad with it, especially not with this stuff, especially not with how much this stuff costs as well. But we'll put a little bit of Arctic silver on the centre there. That should be plenty for this. And I'm getting very, very low on that tube. That's all I've got left. Right. And we drop that. In fact, we want it. Where's the CPU fan? Is there. So we'll drop it that way around. So that's. I think that's going to work. Yeah. Then push that in. Push that in. Push that in and push that in. Lovely, that's locked into place. So at least we've got a cooler on the CPU now. We can plug our CPU fan in there. We'll stick a stick of RAM in. We've got DIMM 1, DIMM 2, so we'll put that in DIMM 1. I wish I had some, well, I have got some smaller RAM, but I don't know whether any of it works. So what we can do, once we ascertain that this computer will actually boot up, we can try some of that other RAM. And I really don't want a gigabyte of RAM in this thing, not for what I want to use it for, not with Windows 98 on it. Excuse me. Didn't clear my throat. Just 1 second. Right. So what I'll do, I will get the we'll use the power supply out of the actual Thinkcentre, because it seems to work absolutely fine. That I'll get the monitor out and everything, and we'll get set up, and we'll see if this board is actually going to power up and do something. So back in a sec. Right, okay, we're back, and basically we're ready for our first test. So we've got the motherboard, as you saw it before, and I've got it connected up to the old monitor here. The power supply out of the Thinkcentre, so we're pretty much ready to go. I've got that gig stick of RAM out of the other board in there. So obviously I've not got anything connected up to it, so I'll just short the power pins, and we'll see if this thing's actually going to bark into life or not. So here goes nothing. Okay, the monitor's fired up. The fan is a little bit ridiculous, wow, but that appears to be working. Right, let's have a look. Manual, you can even set the speed. So can we set it right down? Let's have a look. So how can we, you know, in fact, let's just set it at normal while we're playing about. Let's go to main. Let's have a look here. This one. Excellent. This is something I wanted to see, and this is another thing I'm really happy with this board. It'll actually work with a 360k 5¼ inch floppy drive. Now hopefully we can do something about that, because that is a bit too much. I was hoping that would run a little bit slower than that, but at least it's working. That's the most important thing, is at least the main board is actually working. Let's see this. Change a few settings on here and see if we can save it. So advanced, memory frequency off, on CPU off, enabled. Well, there's plenty of things we can mess about with here to slow the computer right down actually. I was hoping there'd be something with fan speed in here though, so we could perhaps make that thing not quite so ridiculous. So I'm sure it doesn't need to be running that fast. Let's have a look at hardware. Sorry, just have to bear with me a second, folks. My phone's just ringing, so back in a sec. Okay, sorry about that. I just had to take that phone call. I've actually just had a quick play. That is really, really loud, that fan, so much so I thought there might be something wrong with it. I've actually just pulled that off the other motherboard just as a quick test, and that runs exactly the same speed. It just runs absolutely flat out. Now, could that be something that's actually wrong with the board, or is that just how it is? I'm not actually 100% sure, but we'll carry on with it as it is, and we'll see when we actually get it in the case whether it sounds too loud or not. It certainly was a little bit on the noisy side then, but it could just be that we're just running everything out on the bench here as well. But anyway, like I said, we'll power that back up again. And apart from that, everything seems to be working just fine. So it's quite noisy. But the board, oh look, there we go, it actually fired up then. The board all fires up, everything seems to work just nicely. In fact, let's try setting the date here, because it's not the first of the first 2002, so let's try it as the first, no it's not, so oops, there, back, it's the I've done this before, honestly. The first, nope, come on. Oh, nope. Why am I having so many trouble just doing something as simple as setting the date? No, it's not, it's the... Alright, 01, there we go. 07 20 23. There we go, the 1st to the 7th 2023, that should be right. I'm not going to bother setting the time. Oh, it's cool, let's set the time. I think it's about 22:10, so that should do. We'll save that and we'll see if it going to save. Exit saving changes, yes, enter. See, everything seems to be working nicely, apart from, obviously it's not going to find anything now, but yeah, that's working. Annoying that it's shifted over like that, but that's not a major deal, that's just this monitor. So yeah, we've got everything there that we seem to need. The board seems to be working quite nicely, so oops. Let us try some of the other RAM that I've got. Now we know that the board works. So I really don't want to run this thing with a gigabyte of RAM in it. I want to put that back on my other board, because we know that those work perfectly. Okay. And what I've got down here somewhere. In fact, did I get them out before or not? Yeah, just call me Mr. Disorganised, it's fine. Now, where did I put it? I specially selected some RAM that I wanted to try in this. Okay, here we go. Right. I've got quite a lot of RAM which should be compatible with this computer, with this main board. This all, I think most of this, if not all of it, came from Andrew's mate the Mildred. Once again, he just gave me loads and loads of old RAM he had lying around. And I think, yeah, I think in here I've got some 256 meg sticks, which would be more. It's a shit. I would really like to have some like 128s. 128 would be perfect, but I don't think I have any that small. But I do have some 256 meg ones. These are all, that's 256 meg. These ones, they're gig. That one's 512. That one's 512, and that one's 512, which would be better than nothing. But as you can see, I've got rather a lot to go through. If I wanted to test it all, that's 512. Probably most of it's 512. But we've got some there which I think are 256. Let's try some of these and see if any of these are actually going to work. So again, we want DIMM 1, which is that one. Let's stick that in. Come on. No. So perhaps that's not right. Oh, you silly sod, you try to put it in the wrong way round. There we go. Right, let's see if this is going to fire up. We don't seem to be getting any joy there. That's the first one. It doesn't look like that one's functioning. Let's try another one. I'm not sure on the size of this one. It's either a 256 I think or a 512. Let's try this one in. Have we got any signs of life? Nope. I'm not going to touch more up. So that's two tried, two not working. This one I am not sure of at all. I'm not sure what size this one is. That's in. We're not having a lot of luck with this, are we? I thought at least one of these would have worked. Another 256 meg one here. Try that. Ah! Aha! Let's see what this is indeed being there we go, 256 megabytes. That's more like it. That's more what I wanted to. That's more what I really wanted to see. As you can see, indeed our CMOS is all working. It's saving all our settings. That's brilliant. And 256 meg is a lot more closer to where I wanted to be with this thing. So I'll shut that down there. Right, so I'm reasonably happy with that now. We know that our power supply works. I'll have to see whether we can do anything about perhaps quietening that down, although when it's actually in the case and everything, that might be alright. I was expecting it to run a little bit quieter than that, but again, this is quite an early board. Like I said, this is 2003 I think this board came out in. So yeah, we're talking 20 years old, this technology, what we've got here. But at least we've got, like I said, at least we've got a cooler we can actually use on this platform, because I thought that was going to be an issue until I had a little rummage in my spares. Apart from that, everything else seems to be absolutely fine on this. Really pleased to see that we can support a 360k 5¼ inch floppy on this. apart from that, we've just got our 2 IDE ports there, which is going to be more than enough for what we want to use for this thing. So I think in the next video, basically we'll get all this built up into the original case. We'll see what we can do about sorting a hard drive out for it. We might even, depending on how long all that takes, see what we can do about sticking Windows 98 on it. But I will have to see if I can source, well, basically go online, download another copy of Windows 98 SE. I cannot find my CD anywhere. I've got Windows 98, sorry, I've got Windows ME, but I really wanted to run Windows 98 SE on this. So one way or another, before the next video, I should have a CD either found or burnt that we can actually install on this thing. But yeah, in the next video, we'll actually be putting all this thing back together in the ThinkPad case, adding a few things and making it all exactly how I want it. But I'm super pleased that this board is actually fully working, even if we had to do a little repair job there. And I'm super pleased we've actually found 256 meg of RAM on to go on here, rather than having to stick a gig stick in it, what we've running Windows 98 and everything. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope you enjoyed this little update on the project, so I will say thanks for watching and goodbye.